You've read dozens of books, watched hundreds of hours of content, taken courses, listened to podcasts on your commute, and yet, when you look at your life, almost nothing has changed. That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern, and it's costing you everything. It's costing every day of your life. Most people believe that the problem is they don't know enough. So they read more, they search more, they bookmark more articles they'll never open again. But here's what nobody tells you. Knowledge without execution is just entertainment, and you've been entertaining yourself into stagnation. Think about the last 3 things you learned that genuinely excite you. You probably thought, this is it, this changes everything, and then life happened. The day moved on, the insight faded, and the cycle repeated itself, quietly like it always does. But here's the thing. There's a reason your brain loves learning but resists changing. Acquiring information feels like progress. It activates the same reward centers that actual achievement does. Your mind literally cannot tell the difference between knowing how to do something and actually doing it until reality forces the distinction. And by then, you've already moved on to the next piece of content. This isn't about intelligence. Some of the most well-read people on the planet are living lives they desperately want to escape. The problem runs deeper than what you know. It lives in the gap between understanding and action. And that gap has a very specific reason for existing. Here's what's really happening inside you every time you learn something new and don't apply it. Your identity resists change. Not your mind, your identity. The story you've been telling yourself about who you are is far more powerful than any idea you've ever encountered in a book. You can intellectually agree with a concept and emotionally refuse to embody it at the same time. That's not weakness, that's human architecture. The people who actually transform their lives don't consume more, they consume less, but they act immediately. They take one idea and run it through their daily decisions until it becomes distinct. They treat information like a tool, not a trophy. And that is really, really important for you to know. But what separates them from everyone else isn't discipline in the traditional sense. It's something more precise, and most people never discover it because they're too busy looking for the next insight to sit still long enough to use the last one. Imagine two people reading the same book on financial freedom. One highlights every key passage, shares quotes on social media, and feels motivated for 3 days. The other person reads one chapter, closes the book, and immediately adjusts one financial habit. 6 months later, their lives look nothing alike. Totally different, same information, radically different results. The variable isn't knowledge. It's the moment of decision after learning. It's that precise moment. Every time you consume content without acting, you train your nervous system to train insight as a destination rather than a starting point. Over time, learning becomes a substitute for living. You accumulate mental furniture that makes the room feel full, but leaves no space to actually move around it. The most dangerous version of this cycle is the person who knows exactly what they need to do and has known for years, but continues to delay, believing that one more piece of information will finally give them the certainty they need to begin. Certainty never comes first. Action does. That is the real truth. So, what do you do with all of this? You stop treating your next book like a solution and start treating your last lesson like an instruction. You pick one thing, just one, from everything you've learned recently, and you make a single visible change in your behavior today. Not tomorrow, not after the next video, today. Because the truth is this. Your life doesn't change when you learn something new. It changes when you decide that who you were yesterday is no longer acceptable, and you let that decision show up in your actions before your emotions are ready, before the conditions are perfect, before you feel certain enough. So, here's the thing. Knowledge was never the missing piece. You were never behind on information. What you've been delaying is the commitment to become the person who acts on what they already know. Everything you need to start is already inside you. The only question left is whether today is the day you finally stop learning about the life you want and start living it.